Hello, my beautiful singles collective. Elsie here with a collective reading, my friends. We are going to talk about, what's going on with the full moon energy and the singles energy, because I believe it's something. It feels like it feels like I should do a reading, because in the future I think some of you are going to have someone come forward who is going to express how they feel. Someone that you didn't expect to express how they feel. And we're going to start with Moonology here, singles. And this reading is not time-stamped, my friends, because it is for everybody. It's not just for your energy, it's for everybody's energy. And it is an exercise in your intuitiveness, listening to your gut, right? This is your perception, right? I'm here to pull in the messages, but it's going to be different for all of you because you all have a different perception. So I'll call out the signs and symbols as you need to hear them or know them in order to know what's going on, but you're going to be making the decision about whether this it resonates with you or not. So let's talk about it, singles. Tell me about the singles, and we're going to ask about the full moon in Leo energy. That full moon was yesterday, right? So we're going to carry on further to that, find out what's going on here. It's time to release negativity. So it is a full moon. It does say full moon in Scorpio, but it is a full moon, right? It is a full moon that we're dealing with, and full moons are all about the release. It's about letting go things. I do my own little ritual. I wonder, let me know in the comments, do you have a ritual that you do under the full moon? Because with me, it's about burning things. I write things down, things that I want to release, that I don't want to go back to, maybe people I want to disconnect from, and I write down things like, please let so-and-so go with love and grace, and I don't need that energy anymore. Please call back my energy and disconnect me. It's I write it down and then I burn it in a safe place. So tell me if you have some sort of a ritual, but it feels like that is what this reading is about. It's about releasing negative energy, or feeling like you have to be held back or go slow because of something that's holding you back. I think you're releasing whatever's been holding you back. We do have full moon in Aquarius. It says, show the world the real you. I love it. So releasing of negativity, showing the world who you are. Let the freak flag fly. I'm going to say, I'm not calling you a freak, Aquarius, but let the freak flag fly. Look, Aquarius doesn't really give a crap who's in the room. I'm just going to be who I'm going to be. And that, Aquarius knows that that is either going to bring people toward me, or it's going to get rid of the wrong people, and it's going to bring in the right people. So I want to say Scorpio and Aquarius energy here. So I want to say that whatever is coming to an end, and I feel like it's almost apprehension, because understand that Scorpio, well, both Scorpio and Aquarius are fixed signs, and I know about a fixed sign because I'm a Taurus sun, and it feels like whatever's been holding you back, or I want to say if it's not been holding you back, you've been holding who you really are under the surface because you felt that it was negative. And I don't think that's what it is. I don't think it's negative at all. I just think it was a fear of showing the world who you really are. Bottom of the deck, we have conclusions are within reach, whatever that means to you. We have some sort of conclusion here. Let's take one more card. One more card for the collective singles, please. Tell me about the collective singles. Thank you, by the way, for all the ways you love on these singles reading. I love doing them for you. I wish I had enough energy in the day and time in the day to do individual ones. I just don't, unfortunately. So I'm really glad that you enjoy these singles reads here. Tell me about the singles, please. We have Firefly, which is Wonder. It's card number 44. So stability, right? It feels like somebody here it's like your spark has been lit. That's what it is. The fire has been lit. Look, the firefly is small, but I don't know, as a child, when I was at my grandparents' cabin, we would run into this open field at night. They would go with us and allow us to run in the open field at night with other children. And we would be running amongst all of these fireflies. And it was the most beautiful and wondrous thing that I'll never, ever, a core memory I'll never, ever forget. We have stability, right? We have with fours. And knowing that you're on the right path. And 4 and 4 is 8, which is the self. It's putting hard work into something. I think for those of you who are aware now, it feels like you have a spark. Now that you are aware, you can see things for what they really are. You've persevered up to here, I want to say. You now have a little spark of faith. That's what it feels like. A little spark of faith that something here is going to work out the way you want it to work out. Oh, there we go. It could be about love, loving the self. It could be. For some of you, it could be romantic love. For others of you, this is card number 8. 8 is about the self, and it could be about self-love and healing. I love it. So for some of you, the conclusion that is here is that you have healed yourself into loving the self. All right, let's take a look at some tarot here. Tell me about the collective, please. Tell me what the collective needs to know. So far here we do have Scorpio energy and Aquarius energy. Let's find out what the tarot has to say for the collective, please. Tell me about the collective, please. We do have the 8 of Cups. So it's time to release negative energy. Brings up the 8 of Cups. It's time to disengage from things that you were settling for in the past. I want to say that people probably were sucking up your energy with a straw, Scorpio energy, right? If you are a Scorpio, maybe Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Jupiter. You don't have to be, but I feel like the Scorpio energy is a beautiful, deep, protective kind of, you know, Scorpio will do anything for anyone. And I feel like this is something that you're kind of done with. I want to say the 8 of Cups is telling me that you're pulling away. You're pulling away and you're going to stop settling for people sucking up your energy. Yeah, I think you're no longer settling for something here. Tell me about show the world the real you. Who is the real you? We do have the Chariot in reverse. So I want to say that for some of you, you're still under the surface, or you're feeling a little bit stuck about when or where to tell somebody who the real you is. This could definitely be someone who is coming to terms with their authenticity, about who they love, about who they are, about what they like to do in their life. It feels like you've been holding something under the surface, but it feels like it's about to come out. We are in Aquarius season, by the way, and Pluto is in Aquarius right now, and it is bringing change and transformation and beautiful transformation. So I want to say for those of you who are feeling stuck, I do feel that this energy, this full moon in Leo is bringing something to a crescendo. Something is ending, so something else can begin, because full moons are always about ending chapters and cycles. I feel like for you, what's ending here is playing it under the surface, or feeling stuck, or feeling like you're not having any victory. It really is scary to come out, whoever you are. It really is scary to come out as who you are. Being authentic is a scary thing in a world full of people who are inauthentic, right? It's really hard to be authentic, but I feel like after being stuck for a while, somebody here is choosing to be authentic. And we have Wonder and we have the Hierophant. Look, when the Hierophant shows up, it's always to me about a lesson learned. It's a lesson that you have learned. You've got this spark, and I feel like the lesson is to listen to the self. Stop listening to all of the noise around the outside, and it's time to listen to the self. Take this spark, this little mustard seed, and grow it into wonder. And I just want to say we have Cancer energy here and Taurus energy as well. So I feel like it's about a lesson learned. I want to say that you have decided that regardless of how everyone else in the world is, that you're going to be authentic. I love it. Just jumped out into my arms here. The 8 of Swords in the reverse. Yeah. No more being stuck in your head. It's the end of that being stuck in your head energy here. Tell me about the 8 of Cups, please. What is the collective pulling away from here? You've decided that you are going to sacrifice a cup at the altar. That's what it feels like. That you've decided that you are no longer going to settle for someone, a situation. And I feel that your psychic energy, Scorpio, is telling you to let something go here. We do have the 9 of Cups. Why is the 9 of Cups here? We go from the 8 to the 9. Look, when you sacrifice whatever you're sacrificing at the altar, It looks like the 1 cup here. Whenever you're sacrificing what you sacrifice at the altar here, my friend, it goes to the 9 cups. You do make progress here. And we go from, I'm just looking here, we go from this moon, I don't know, waxing, waning, you tell me, but we have a full moon. So I do feel that it has something, we've got other full moons. It feels like it is a change that happened to you, a purge of something that happened over the full moon energy. Tell me more. We have the 4 of Swords in the reverse. And we have healing. It's beautiful. Collective, this is beautiful energy here. Look, happiness comes because of the healing. You've decided that you've healed enough. You've healed enough right now. Yeah, the universe has got their eye on you. I feel like you're protected. And I feel like you are someone who has decided now that you are going to be maybe more available or reconnecting to people. It feels like you've done some healing, or you've been in a place of healing where you haven't really been connecting with people. And I feel like the 9 of Cups and the 4 of Swords in the reverse is telling me that you're ready to get to reconnect to people and reconnect to happiness. I think this was a really hard time. Letting go of the negativity, I feel like, was a really hard thing for you to do. But look at that. Wish fulfillment and healing and hope. It's beautiful. Aquarius energy. We've got full moon in Aquarius here. So I want to say that after making this decision to reconnect to people in your life or the self, that we've got a lot of healing here. Healing and hope. It's beautiful. So we do have Aquarius energy here. I think I did say that there was Cancer energy here. Tell me about showing the real you, because I feel like some of you are still in the closet, under the bed, under the covers. Somebody is scared to show people who they are. Tell me about the Chariot, please, in the reverse. We do have the 5 of Wands, which is the internal struggle. The internal struggle, and like, you know, you can see these people, they're sort of throwing hands at each other, or wands, I could say, but there is a wasp's nest. It's like everybody's blindfolded and they don't really see that there's danger here. So I feel like you go from sort of feeling your way around in the dark, everybody's blindfolded, feeling your way around in the dark, and possibly hurting yourself, that you've decided that you're no longer going to be in this spot of indecision. It's time for the real you to show up. And there you are. I feel like you're the person who is the tarot reader, the psychic, the medium, the person who usually doesn't speak up, and I'm not saying that you're afraid to speak up. I don't think you're afraid to speak up. This is Aquarius energy here. I don't think you're afraid to speak up. I think that you're afraid to show people who you really are. Look, when I was getting back into tarot, becoming the person that I always should have been, that I ended up hiding because of religion, I feel like this is somebody that I'm speaking to, that somebody told you not to be who you are. Who you are was not enough. Who you are was wrong. And I feel like you're coming to a realization that who you are is who you are. And that's the truth of it. So I feel like you're really listening to the self, listening to the universe. I feel like you're learning about yourself, learning to not beat yourself up any longer with the 5 of Wands. You're learning that you have no competition, which I really love. You're learning that you are in fact the authority. That's major arcana energy. You are the authority. You're no longer wandering around in the dark. You now have control of the dark, is what I want to say. You actually know how to deal with the dark, because you may have been in a lot of darkness, right? We have the 7 of Swords. You stop lying to yourself. No more concealing it. I really do feel that there is somebody here who is about to show other people their authenticity, whatever that means to you. Maybe nobody in the family has ever been a hairstylist, and now you've decided that you're going to open a business because you're a hairstylist, and people are like, what are you doing? You have a doctorate in psychology. Why are you going into hairdressing? Because that's who you are. So whatever the situation is, it feels like somebody here has decided to stop lying to themselves about who they really are. They're now listening to their gut. And I love that energy. No more feeling stuck here. Tell me about the Hierophant. There's a lesson learned here. The lesson of wonder, the lesson of that a mustard seed grows to be the mustard plant, right? It's the faith, the small little bit of spark of faith here. You go from a spark of faith to being the authority. being the traditional authority, the person that people come to for spiritual energy, for lessons. I feel like because you learned the lesson, you started off with this little tiny spark and it grew to the Hierophant energy. So you don't have to be a Taurus. Look, this is Hierophant energy. And the Hierophant energy is one of picking a path and allowing people to come follow you on the path if you want. But it's also being the spiritual self, being the spiritual teacher, right? So you might have gone from being the High Priestess to being the Hierophant. Maybe you are both. Maybe you are Pisces and Taurus. We've got more Piscean energy here, the Hanged Man. We have the Five of Cups. You have a different perspective than most people. And I want to say that you have a different perspective, collective, about your singledom and about being single. You have a different perspective of that because now you're the leader and you've decided that instead of living your life looking for a partner, why don't I have love? Instead of, having this very narrow focus of love, I feel like you've opened the focus now. And that's what this tells me here. You're really not focused on any one thing. I feel like you're now looking at that thing, and you're kind of looking at somebody else's point of view, taking it in, learning about it. This is about learning a lesson. And we do have the Five of Cups here. So I feel like you've been through a lot of trials. I feel like there's a lot of things that you wanted that you didn't get, and when you don't get those things, you got lessons. And I feel like it all grew you into being the Hierophant here. We have the Eight of Pentacles, and it's because you worked on yourself. I love it. I love it here. It's because you were willing to put in the hard work, because you did look at yourself, Virgo energy, went over the details and thought, nope, I don't need that. Nope, I don't want that. The last time I used that thing, it didn't work for me. And so I feel like you really go over the self. And it's because of the Five of Cups, because you have regrets from things that have happened in the past. And now you're starting to recognize your patterns. And if we don't recognize our patterns, we're going to keep jumping into the same pattern. Because look, if you got swords, right, you go from the ace, which is the aha moment, you go to the 10, you end that cycle, you get betrayed, it's terrible, it's awful. You could jump right back in with the Ace of Swords. But I don't think you're doing that. I don't think that you are repeating cycles anymore. I feel as though you've learned from your regrets of the past, and you now tend to look at things from another perspective so you can learn the lesson. And the reason that you can teach other people is because of the self-mastery. Beautiful. You have realized who you are, that the lessons you have learned you can pass on to others. And I love that. So we've got the Eight of Swords in the reverse. You're free, my friend. You are free. You've got freedom here. George Michael, freedom. That's what I'm hearing. I won't let you down. I won't give you up. Something about the sound. It's the only one good thing that I've got. I could be connecting here with somebody who's a musician. If you're a musician, I want to say I'm getting this. It's the first few bars of the song Freedom by George Michael. And I got to get real good at the sound. It's the one good thing that I've got. I feel like you're a musician, and it feels like you have been honing that skill for a very long time. And I feel like if you get it out there, if you give it freedom to fly, I feel like it works out for you. That's just a little side note that I just channeled for somebody. I don't know who that is, but this tells me freedom. Freedom from the mind, free to do what you want to do. You're no longer stuck here. Tell me about the Eight of Swords in reverse. Look at that. The sun comes up. It's because you've had a breakthrough, my friend. You now see things clearly. You now understand why all that crap had to go on in the past. It all leads up to this beautiful growth that you're having here, because everything grows under the sun. Nails, hair, people, your career, your personal life, your family life. This is about family as well. Your children, everything grows through inspiration. You've had some sort of a breakthrough, an inspired breakthrough here. Look at that. I was just talking about the Ace of Swords, and there it appears. I'm telling you, when you become the Empress, you learn how to watch your words, because whatever you do talk about does tend to come up pretty quick. So We got the Ace of Swords here, and the Ace of Swords is on fire. Like, it feels like it's an exciting new breakthrough, a thought pattern, new ideas, and it's because you've broken out of the Eight of Swords. I love it. Nine of Pentacles, and you did it all on your own. You didn't have any help. You didn't have anybody hold you by the hand and tell you what to do. You've done it all by yourself. And I feel like this breakthrough of inspiration comes from you busting yourself out of the Eight of Swords all by yourself. You've become this Hierophant, this person who is the spiritual teacher. You no longer are lying to yourself, hiding who you are. I feel like you have decided that you're just going to let the freak flag fly. Aquarius, I don't think you're a freak. Maybe you are a little bit. We do have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. So it feels like here, Six of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles is 9. We do have the 8 here. We have the 9 here. I want to say with the Six of Pentacles in reverse that this is something that you did alone. You didn't ask anybody for help, and therefore you didn't get any. It feels like you have become someone who is now bringing other people in or showing them, like this person's teaching these two children about nourishment, about holding an apple, right? They're in an orchard. It feels like you now become the teacher. People are watching you become this Hierophant, become the teacher. And I feel like you got no help from anyone. And what I want to say is you don't have any formal education. Yeah, I mean, you could be someone who has a degree, but please understand that just because you have a degree, it doesn't mean that you know all of the things that you need to know about the world. It means you have a degree in that thing, right? Doctors don't know about tarot. Tarot readers don't know about medical stuff, right? So it's like, I feel like you decide that even though you don't have the doctorate or the master's or the bachelor's, that you still are the teacher. You are teaching people how to start from nothing, because I think that's what you did. I think you started from nothing. Look at all this wisdom. It's beautiful. This is the moment of alchemy. Oh gosh, this is really beautiful. It's the moment of alchemy for you to find your light. There's this little light here. Look at that. Yeah, you found your light. You found your wonder. And it's time to close the chapter on the old thing. You've now come to a place of an achievement. You've now come to a place where you can walk through into the next life, into the next timeline. You can close the door and come through to the next timeline. I feel like a lot of people are counting on you to do that. All right. I think this ends up being about the love of self. The love of self and the healing. And that's all you needed in order to be able to move forward. All right, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for coming here and watching. I appreciate you. I'm going to go for now, but of course I'll be back for more singles reads. Duh, of course. I'm always back. Love you guys. Bye-bye.